Great.
All we have to do is finish up a couple of comment resolutions, and we'll be most of the way there. For one of our documents, of course.
Bridge is going pretty badly for me since both Jerome and Spencer are affected. I'm assuming that it's my problem. So if I'm test one, test two.
Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Okay, Medico Bridge seems to be having some issues.
I have magically popped in.
So were you bounced?
I got a publishing error.
Yeah, so I got thrown out. Well, actually, I never got thrown out, but my media got reset several times.
I'm
And
getting
Jerome got thrown out and hasn't made it back yet.
He looks like he's coming back in. He signed in on the Edge doc. So at least there's that. Yeah, it looks like he's headed back in anyway. And we have Michael, and we have Dave. So cool. While we are sitting here for a nanosecond or two, let's see. I may have spoken slightly too soon. I have an outstanding. Well, anyway, we can start. We could actually. Is there anybody that we're expecting that's not here? I've got Steve, I got Dave, I got Jerome, I've got Michael.
Yeah, we are all there.
So cool. The cool people are here. So we can seize control of our schedule and move on. And we have this is an IETF meeting, so the note well applies. With the addition, please be kind to each other. And we had previous meeting minutes. Has anybody had a chance to take a look at those?
Yes, I did. It's fine.
They are fine for me too.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, cool. I spoke slightly too soon earlier, but just do the update on our working group documents. For seller's tags, we've got -22 of it's been submitted. Steve has a couple of PRs to put in, and I have one thing that I've still need to chase with him on one discuss that was cleared, the only AD I have pinged and not heard back from yet, who has a discuss, is Mike Bishop. So I have pinged him, but have not heard back. Just keeping in touch with everybody who is doing. Sorry. Comment about IANA was that we still have normative text in the IANA section, and the suggestion was made that we could move the normative text out of the IANA section. Steve, did you see the email about that, and was that clear?
I don't remember that one.
This is pretty quick, and where was that? I think, was that a so Andy said he would clear. I thought that was Med. Yes. Okay. This is Mohammed Budakar's no objection on 22, where I was basically saying I would work with you to make sure we get this right. But if I was sharing a screen, it looked like this. It would be, email would basically look like this, but people probably can't read that. So just let me blow that up a bit. So this is basically looking at sorry. So basically, like this is the update in -22 compared to 20, but we still do have some musts and must nots and things like that appear in the IANA consideration section. So what I'm saying is for us to basically remember, and Robert, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, IANA considerations is really for IANA and indirectly for designated experts and things like that. So this is the definition of what IANA needs to do, but things like the name, the tag name must only be found once in the IANA registry. The requirement is really for someone who's registering a tag name to make sure that they're not duplicating one. Does that make sense?
Yes, but in the end, it's IANA who knows. Like, for example, if two persons try to register like VVC, a new codec, at the same time with a different extra data, well, it should be a first come, first served. So basically, It's really the IANA people who decide who was first, and because we cannot have two different names.
Right, right. So, Robert, again, correct me if I'm missaying this. The idea behind IANA is that IANA doesn't tell people no. The ISG does, and designated experts do, and and the entire IETF can tell people no, but IANA doesn't say no. So this specific one, if I said I'm going to do H267 and you said I'm going to do H267, then, for instance, that might be standards track RFC, and so when we are approving those in the IETF, somebody would say, but wait, somebody's already registered H267. So this would be a duplicate, but that would not be for IANA to figure out. It would be for people who are actually reviewing the protocol itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So should I just remove that sentence?
Yeah. So what I was saying here was basically, does that sentence duplicate requirements that are also outside IANA? If the answer is yes, then we would just remove it. If it adds requirements that don't appear outside of the IANA section, we need to figure out what it needs to say.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's only
Okay.
index section.
Yeah, and we but if that's clear, if you could just start a PR and you and I can work on that. The other thing I want to be sure and say is that I believe it's correct that next Monday is the ID cutoff for IETF 125. So it would be good for us to have submitted the update before then.
Yeah,
So I will be paying attention also. We can ask people for help with getting language correct and things like that, and we can submit this document is trying to leave the ISG, and the ISG can approve a submission anytime, but just so we're not trying to find somebody during IETF week to approve the submission, or the last week before. We were trying to get people to discuss this. It is common for area directors to say, this is very interesting text, put it in a draft and I'll clear it. Or put it in a draft update and I'll clear it. So so we know what to do with that. So, and I'm just capturing actions.
Yeah, so I'll fix that tomorrow. I'll remove the line. I don't know if I wait for you, and then after that we can submit the new draft.
Yeah.
With the other two PRs.
Yeah. I was just saying that you and I are going through the IANA section, looking at normative language. Okay, cool. So for that, and then I still have the action to close with all the ADs to make sure we've addressed everything. What I have from everybody except Mike is that we've addressed all the comments. So people are waiting for an update to clear. We had 4 discusses last IETF meeting, our last meeting, and 2 of them have already been cleared. So, and then I have one that's, we know it's going to be cleared with an update, and then just making sure that we've addressed Mike's questions. Our area director already said that our -17, well, that we had addressed his AD evaluation comments on -16 of the Codex document. So I think the two, the biggest thing there, and this may actually be a Robert question. Robert, does it make sense for us to wait until after IETF 125 to nudge an area director for this? I mean, Robert may have any. Oh, okay. Here's Robert.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So no, you should move ahead, particularly given that it's Ori, since he's trying to pass his baton along, right?
Yeah.
So try to finish before we get to the start of the meeting.
Okay. For the codec draft. So this is requesting IETF last call, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can do that.
To defer, but you know,
No.
get it in front of him, give him the opportunity.
Okay, so that's my action to follow up with Ori. Cool. And just make sure that this all makes sense. Okay, and Robert, thank you for the clue there. Do we have anything that we need to talk about with chapter codecs or with FFV1 V4?
For chapter codecs, no.
No, for FFV1, there is no update compared to last meeting.
Okay, cool. I'm just leaving these as what we said at a previous meeting in the notes. So
yeah. Still on my side to do a test.
Okay. We did have a mailing list question about what is that? OGE stems, and whether this was something that seemed interesting to the working group, and whether it was in scope for CELLAR, which is probably the first thing we should ask. And then we've already had some mailing list discussion on this with the guy submitting the draft. So at least some of us are paying attention to that. Like it was worth noting. Do we have any concerns about this being in scope for us? This is basically moving something into this is basically coming up with a new thing to put in a Matroska capsule.
Yes, there are many things. I replied today. So for me, what he wants is basically version with some of Matroska with some limitations, so it's a bit like WebM. So I suggested that it could be a profile, something that doesn't exist but that could be done. That's a bit like what MP4 is doing, like they put a lot, I don't remember the name, but in the header you have lots of features that the file have, and that could be something like that we do in the EBML header. The technical challenge is interesting, but I don't know if it belongs in this working group or not, but if it does, I'll be happy to help. As long as it's Matroska and not OG.
Okay. Robert, this one sounds to me like this is more more appropriate for us with our
I think there needs to be more list discussion to help us understand the scope of what standardization is actually needed. So I think that the direction of the conversation so far, steering this towards just starting again, using Matroska as the base building block, is the right thing to do. And if it turns out that there needs to be something written down to allow interop on this, then we can talk about whether or not this is the right place to work on writing that down.
Yeah.
If it turns out to be just using Matroska without needing extensions to Matroska, it's a less obvious step for here.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We have a bullet and a a heading, a section, and a subsection on Matroska v5. Do we want to talk about charter, or do we want to talk about the technology first?
Up to you.
So I think the big question that I have on V5 is whether we're ever going to have a protocol identifier that says V5. Does that sound like what people remember?
Yeah, that's what we already discussed. There's technically, from the last time, already said that basically there's nothing that is forcing us to use the version 5 of Matroska, because in version 4 we already added a lot of things, and I mean, if we add more, nobody will care. It's just new. Because otherwise that means every time you add a new element, you would basically increment the number, which could grow very big, which is technically not a problem, but maybe it's a bit hard to keep track of. However, if you look at browser versions now, like Firefox is 148, so why not? That means every time there's a new update to add or RFC or something that adds a new element, that means we increase the number, so we can tell, oh, this version has this or not. But then you could say also if there's a package of elements at once, and how much do we put in the package? When do we decide that we have to stop and make a new version? I don't know. So for me, it's between keeping version 4 and adding a lot of numbers for everything we need to add. I don't have any particular preference.
Okay. So that would basically say we don't need a major recharter exercise to do new work on Matroska. We might need, well, so most of what we've done with Matroska, since we broke up the one Matroska document into the base specification plus other specifications, is we can do that by talking with our area director about new extension document, but not requiring a recharter to work on a new version.
There's going to be a recharter. The question is, what are the words in the charter going to be?
Okay.
So I've still got on my plate going out and looking for whether or not we have good answers that other groups have, provided good frameworks for how you talk about extension sets and whether or not it's necessary for us to do so here. If it is sufficient for us to have groups of extensions in different RFCs, Steve, so this is a question for you, and it's one possible way out of this, is that we have the base Matroska, and unless there's some compelling reason to go fix something there, we don't touch it. Mm-hmm. We write extension documents, and the RFC numbers for those extension documents become the names from a marketing perspective or whatever. You say, I support food. It's this list of RFCs, right?
Yeah, it could work, yes.
Yeah. So that model is one that would be easy for everybody at the IETF at least to understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and I want to agree with what Robert said, because I think that was so obvious to me that I was just assuming that was what we were talking about. That basically what we're going to be doing is mostly extensions, and that was not a technical observation. It was a standard.
We brought this back when we were talking about this last month. Mm-hmm. I thought I remembered a discussion about one possible breaking change, something that wasn't an extension, but
yeah, the timestamp that would be with using rational number, but it's not in the current V5.
So this could be an RFC that updates, but updates in some, we could work out whether or not, I guess it would be compared, it would have to worry about backwards compatibility or what?
It depends if it can be backward compatible or not.
Right.
Last time I did some math on it and some tests, it looked that it could be backward compatible, but we need to be absolutely sure. Basically, you would have the old system and the new system together, and they both work all the time, but it's better to use the new system. If we can do that, then we don't need to version bump. If we can't, then this is a breaking change. Then I don't know what to do or how. It would not be an update of the previous document. It would be like a fork. Basically, you take everything that's before, plus you add something. That's if you support that, then it won't work with all the players.
I think what you just said is the way I think this works. So yeah. So if we can do a backward compatible specification for the new timestamp format, we don't need two versions.
Otherwise, we do. How much work and is there work that we can do here in the IETF to determine whether or not it's possible to build this backwards compatible version? Is this a list discussion or is this lab work?
There's a pull request. You can find it if you want. Well, that's very long. Yes, 422. So it's many years old. I can paste it in the chat. Yeah, so if you want to read that, but I think the last post is from 4 years ago, so I have to remember that. Yeah, I can't remember. I'm not going to say something and then it's not what it says in there.
Sure. So, and could I ask you to either put the link to the PR in the minutes, or if you stick that in the chat, I can do that also.
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Is there anything else that we need to say about V5 itself? You've got the...
Well, basically, if it's not going to be V5, what should we call the new document?
Like, okay.
A draft IETF CELLAR, what?
If you could name it after the set of extensions that you
Well, we have draft IETF Matroska, draft IETF tags, draft IETF CELLAR Matroska, draft IETF CELLAR tags, draft IETF CELLAR Codec. So yeah, I don't know what to put.
So the stuff that's
new elements.
The stuff that's in the draft IETF CELLAR Matroska versus the RFC. Is there a name for that? We could just create a draft name that described the new elements and replace draft IETF CELLAR Matroska with that.
I'm not following you. So there's two things. There's the name of the document, like like when we discuss a document, we say the name of the document.
Right.
There's the title and the text. Like right now it says Matroska V5 probably. We just changed the title to Matroska Editions or something like that. And so maybe the title.
Well, the thing is, we're going to do additions over and over. So
yeah, that's the thing. I don't know, because there's various different things. There's new elements, new codec, new tags, all together. I don't know what to call that.
You want to split them out?
We could, but that's, I don't know. Would it work faster if we split them by codec, tags, etc.?
Well, thing is, we would be doing more codecs and more tags and whatnot going, right? So this gets back to the when somebody wants to use the documents that have these new things in them, you know, what are the containers of things that, you know, what's the size of the container and what's the stuff that's in the container that is useful to put them in different boxes. And if it's only useful to talk about things like, you know, Matroska as it looked in 2022 to Matroska as it looked in 2027, and if that's going to be like the pace that things are coming out, then I would leave it labeled Matroska and just note that it's still just Matroska. It's not like V5. It's just, you know, Matroska extensions leading to, maybe call it, you know, over and over, Matroska extensions by starting year whatever, while it's in draft form, and then you just have these RSC things come out. But if there are obvious subsets of these things from a marketing perspective that can be grouped into a name, right? Then we should talk about what those names are and how many of them there would be.
Mm-hmm. I'd have to look. Yeah, basically, let me check. On GitHub, you can select the label Matroska v5. So, for example, for pull requests, there's 12 open and there were 11 already merged. Let me put the link. There's a lot of different subjects. The codecs could be grouped, but for the new elements, they're really each time it's something very different.
But to me, I'm hearing that we need to think, but I'm not hearing anything that would be fatal as far as saying we are going to do 10 new things, and this year we might produce 2 or 3 of them, and we could describe each one of those groups in a way that makes sense. Because I mean, that's if it's kind of like if we said, we did Matroska, but we did tags for Matroska, then we were doing codecs for Matroska, then we're doing chapter codecs for Matroska. So because those chunks made sense. Does that what we're saying?
Yeah, even in the new documents, you still have new codecs. I don't remember if there's new tags, maybe. So basically, for example, for codecs, we can make documents like, say, these new codecs and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a problem. And it's like new codecs, why not? The problem is for all the other features or elements that we're adding. Basically, if I was just inventing a new element today, I would do one document with that element and call it by that element, basically, and that's it. The problem is that we have accumulated like 10 years of new ideas and features that we want that did not go into V4 because we had to describe what existed so far. So basically, we have piled up a lot of things that now we have to output, but now it's a big chunk of various things. And in the future, it should not happen because, like I said, you have something new, like the STEM idea. It's one thing, and like you could call it Matroska STEM and document, and it's fine. In this case, there's too many things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a one-time problem.
Okay.
So we could call it Matroska additions, and in the future, we'd just go back to adding feature by feature.
Yeah, well, you've got among your community already, even though it's not a protocol version V5, I'm being armed with more of an argument to just say this. We talk about this thing internally as V5 until it turns into RSCX.
Yeah.
And then whatever, I don't know what it says inside that RFC. I think our current RFC actually says V4 inside of it, doesn't it?
No, I already have a basic document that's with the new title, but I can change it.
Well,
Whatever.
all right.
I think the discussion we've had has been good because it is explained to it has made it clear to us what is going to confuse the IETF community, and saying, you know, we're going to have V5 of Matroska with no protocol identifiers. That confuses the IETF for better or worse.
Yeah, but again, I think that I'm holding the token to go start to socialize these ideas with the ISG and start to get guidance from other groups. I'm just not moving very fast on that. Do we think we're close to wanting to attempt to like tie up this, what we're currently calling V5, and submit it for publication?
You mean start doing it now?
I mean, how close is it, right? You know, it's just like, I'm trying to have this.
Well, like I said, there's 11 pull requests that are merged. That means there's like maybe 10 things already. There's 12 that are pending. So basically, we can merge what can be merged, and that's our document.
So I guess...
Is there any strong pressure from the user base of this to have it published as an RFC?
No, because none of that exists yet. So,
yeah.
Or maybe, for example, the feature to skip some parts of a video, you know, like in streaming services. There's, for example, on VLC, there's some people trying to do the same thing, but their own way. So it's better if we can start outputting real files to show how it's supposed to be done. That's the one feature that I think people are waiting for real. The rest is just addition. For example, the Z standard compression, it's a good thing to have, but nobody is really waiting for that. Although a lot of people are using it now, so that Safari now supports it for web pages as well.
So Robert, I'm writing down action is for Robert to socialize our understanding of versioning with the broader IETF community. Is that fair?
Yeah, well, with the ISG.
Yeah. Got it. Cool. So I think I know what I need to do this week. I think Steve knows what he needs to do this week. And I think Robert may know what he needs to do at IETF 125. Is there anything else we need to talk about today?
No, not for me.
No, not for me. It is fine, thank you.
Cool. So I think I can give people back 15 minutes of their time, which I'm going to spend on CELLAR stuff. I don't know about the rest of you guys. Of course, it's bedtime for most of you, but you know what I mean.
I need to brush my teeth now.
Yeah, cool. But like I say, we're getting there. and I'm pretty happy with where we are.
Thank you for your work on that.
I promise to do better. You guys have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
You too.
Spencer, I'm going to send you some email. Maybe we can get together for a few minutes.
Okay, cool.